I'm Zenith and welcome to Gardening Mindfully. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we'll talk about how we can go about adding food scraps directly to our garden beds to enrich the soil and to promote good health. Many of us have added food scraps to a compost bin or to a compost pile, but directly to our garden beds, not so much. Adding food scraps directly to our garden beds is not complicated at all. Actually, it's very simple and easy to do. It's also how composting has been done for thousands of years. We have all heard about adding fish heads to planting holes. Yes, that's composting in place. It's also how nature composts. Now, we'll talk about 5 food scraps that we can very easily add to our garden beds and compost it directly in place. The 5 food scraps we have here are: in the front on the right is a banana peel. Directly behind the banana peel we have crushed eggshells. In the center we have orange peel. In the front left we have pistachio shells. And in the back left we have crab shells. So we'll be talking about how each of these food scraps, when added directly to our garden beds, will enrich the soil and promote good health. First, let's talk about banana peel. We all eat bananas because of the potassium that it provides our body. We can also add the peel directly to our flower beds to provide nutrients: nitrogen, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Over time, the banana peel will break down and provide those nutrients to our garden beds. As far as how to use the banana peel in our gardens, I use the banana peel around my rose bushes. I generally will just lay it on top of the soil around the drip line of my rose bush. Sometimes I may scratch the soil or the mulch back 1 or 2 inches and lightly bury my banana peel. But generally it's just laying on top of my soil. It also acts as a mulch and as a weed barrier. Citrus peel is a great mulch for your garden. It also adds calcium, potassium, and magnesium over time. Nutshells are also fantastic in your garden beds. What I have here are pistachio shells, but it can be pecans, walnuts, peanuts. Nutshells makes a great mulch in your gardens, and it also helps with drainage. Eggshells. Who does not know about adding eggshells in their gardens? I love adding eggshells to my tomato plants and also to my rose bushes. But eggshells are also said to deter snails and slugs. Eggshells over time will provide calcium to your soil. And I do like the fact that it has the sharp edges and it may deter a snail or two, but it hasn't been proven in my garden. Next we have crab shells, but it could be shells from any seafood. Be careful when using crab shells or any seafood shells like shrimp or lobster, because it's important to bury these shells to keep wildlife out of your garden. So I generally will add seafood shells to the planting holes. I won't lay it on top of the soil. I will add it to the planting holes. And it's also something that if you crush it fine, just like with the eggshells, you can sprinkle it on top. But I don't use seafood shells on top of my soil. I generally don't break it down any smaller than this, and I'll just add it to the planting hole, and this is a great calcium boost. So what are the benefits of composting in place? There are many benefits, but the most important is that over time, when these food scraps break down, they will provide valuable nutrients to our soil. They will add nitrogen, potassium, calcium, magnesium to the soil. It will also invite microbes into our soil to break down these organic matter. It will help with drainage. It will also act as a weed barrier and retain moisture. So it's very, very important to add these in our soil. And this is one way that I am improving my heavy clay soil. Composting in place is also a lot less work than adding our food scraps directly to a compost pile or a compost bin. It takes away the work of having to turn the bin, to add water, all of that, it takes that away. It's also very rewarding and it makes a lot of sense. Now, as far as how we go about composting in place, we talked about that already. It's very simple, it's very easy, it's not complicated at all. Depending on the food scrap, we may lay it on top of the soil or we may bury it a few inches. And in the case of crab shells or any shells from seafood, because of the smell and not to encourage wildlife into our gardens, we want to go ahead and bury these. And over time, they will break down and they will provide those nutrients to the soil. So it's very easy to do. So anyone can add food scraps directly to their gardens. If you have ever added a banana peel to your rose bush or added eggshells to your tomato plant or used eggshells to deter snails and slugs, you have composted in place. When you think about it, nature makes compost by slowly and gradually decomposing leaves in the wild. It's no different when we add food scraps directly into our garden beds. We're feeding our soil. We're feeding our soil, we'll walk away and nature will do all the work. It's simple, it's easy, and it's very rewarding. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we upload new videos. And thank you for watching.